So who does it better? I recently flew with BA to Cairo, wasn't exactly impressed. But then I realized that wasn't a fair test. So I'm back at Heathrow, I'm going back to Cairo, same route, same airport, same cabin class. This time though, we're going with Egypt's national carrier, EgyptAir. Through security in about 8 minutes today. Another good job by Heathrow. I really need to stop thinking that it's going to take 45 minutes to an hour. I don't know where I've got that from, but maybe things have just got a lot better since I last went traveling, I guess. Right, let's get over to a lounge.
Door opening. Lift is going down.
Thank you so much. Take care. Have a good one.
So there's 2 paid lounges at Terminal 2. Since this one is called the number 1 lounge, I went here first. If they restricted entry a little more, it would be a nice place to relax before a flight. As you can see, today it was pretty packed. The decor and overall vibe was really nice. It only has cold snack foods on offer, loads of drink options, and a full bar with seating though. Since there was almost nowhere to sit, it gets a 2 out of 5 from me.
Right, the number 1 lounge was pretty good. Very cozy, very intimate. I really liked it, but I want to try out the premium plaza as well. Hi, how are you today? Boarding pass? I'm going to do priority pass if I can. Thank you.
All done. Enjoy your stay on your right, please.
Thank you very much. There are showers, eh?
We have a shower.
How much?
£27.5 for 30 minutes.
I'm sorry, what?
£27.50 for a 30-minute shower. I'm not paying that. As much as I love an airport shower, there's no chance in hell I'm paying that. But everything else is really good. I've got myself some food, some decent options, bigger, more spacious, plenty more seating options, way better than the number 1 lounge as far as if you need space and you want to just relax and chill. There's a lot more going on, but it's still cozy, comfortable. There's a full bar. Plaza Premium is the one to go for at Terminal 2.
I'm thinking that I could make a good series out of this. Battle of the Flag Carriers or Flag Carrier Showdown. What do you guys reckon? Let me know in the comments below. Time to go to the gate. Right, so EgyptAir only has about 4 777-300s in their fleet. I think they only have about 3 or 4 777s, period, or full stop, depending on where you're from. And I was a bit disappointed when I saw our plane's tail number come up, the registration.
Because one of their 777s has a great history.
And that registration has had some real events, some serious incidents. It had an engine out over the North Atlantic, had to divert to Shannon. It got clipped by a Virgin, I think, Dreamliner back in 2017. Our aircraft today has had, as far as I can tell, absolutely no incidents at all. Well, I think I finally made it to the other end of London. Some Virgin Atlantic planes and stuff over there. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thanks.
Good, thank you. No, I get a long beat too.
Yeah, if you've obviously got a normal ticket.
Yeah.
Thanks, then.
Love the job. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Cheers. Brave Jim Bridge. Hello. What is that again?
You're supposed to touch the baby on the side.
You. Welcome on board the EgyptAir 777-300ER. It's going to be taking us over to Cairo today. Pretty dated cabin. I don't think it's been refreshed in any way since it was introduced about 14 years ago. I'll show you around in a little bit, but there is, in fairness, IFE. There's a screen, worn all to hell. There's a USB port. Not guessing they work. Interestingly, there's also an Ethernet connection, so that tells you kind of how the cabin's doing. Got a coat hook, tray table, all the usual things. It's pretty dirty though. It's like all the main areas that you would clean are fine, but there's definitely been some lack of attention to detail around here. Anywhere that requires even just tiniest little bit of thought or effort, it hasn't been done. But it works, and it's spacious. There's lots of leg room. I'm not concerned about that. And as far as it goes at the moment, there's no one in the middle. Alright, just started pushback. There are still some people standing around, walking around the cabin. The crew haven't noticed or don't seem to care. People with their seat backs all the way back. It's all good. It's just interesting.
Our flight today skirted the French border over Belgium, Luxembourg, Germany and Austria, then a straight shot to Cairo following the Adriatic coast, crossing over Greece. Flight time today of 4 hours 11 minutes, cruising at an altitude of 37 and 39,000 feet.
We are now cruising just over the coast of France. All good so far. The crew have been around with arrival cards, headphones, which are nothing to write home about. At least we have an IFE. Unfortunately, mine's frozen within about 2 seconds. So far, it's kind of like on par, but at the same time, it could be so much better if EgyptAir invested a little bit in updating their cabins and things. But I don't know a great deal about their plans for their fleet. I imagine they're probably going to be replacing these fairly soon. They certainly need it. But I'll show, if I haven't already, I'll show a picture of how filthy the wing is. I don't know about the other one, but they are absolutely disgusting. And I can't imagine that's something that happens after just a flight or two. Economy food on EgyptAir came out really quickly, like 40 minutes into the flight. Pretty decent, like it's standard like airplane economy food, but came out quickly. It's a damn sight more than we got with BA, so that's a plus. No alcohol, dry airline, but they already came around with bottles of water as well, and it's all orange juice with it. I'm fairly impressed, honestly. What's not to like? So in one of my earlier videos, someone commented that I was eating rice with a fork, as if that was an insane thing to do. Should I be using a spoon with any meal involving rice? I've always used a fork. It just seemed normal to me, but I'd love it. I'd love to know if I've been doing it wrong my whole life. I'm really impressed. It's kind of left me wondering right now, who's got the upper hand, BA or EgyptAir? It's funny because everything that BA lacked, EgyptAir make up for. So much more leg room, much bigger plane because it's a wide body, 777. The hot food, BA just had this little cold snack box. This is a much more dated plane. BA's was far newer and I'm really quite comfortable. But at the moment, even though my IFE and stuff doesn't work, I think I probably prefer this. Hello from the bathroom here on the 777-300 from EgyptAir. So this is one of the aft. I think there's about 4 at the back. 4 of the aft toilets. It's pretty bare bones. It's relatively clean. What have we got? There's a sink, taps that have probably seen better days. I have no idea what that is or was. Whatever it was, it no longer is. But we've got a few bits here. EgyptAir. A perfume and a little spray bottle. Very nice. Foaming hand soap. More foaming hand soap. Baby change. I mean, it's pretty basic, but it's a toilet. Does the job. Clean enough. There you go. The toilet on the 777-300 ER from EgyptAir. There is something like uniquely charming about EgyptAir. The crew seem to be really lovely and stuff, but there's just some nuances that I don't think could get away with on other airlines. Like, there's a couple of crew members at the back. I'm assuming they're just on a break or something, or deadheading back. They're just laying fully stretched out and in a row of 3, which I get crew rest and everything, and I've seen it tons of times, but never like fully outstretched on a row of 3, just chilling. But I kind of like it. It's just oddly charming. I can't imagine you'd really see that on many other airlines, at least not ones I've been on lately. I got my IFE sort of working. The touchscreen very much no longer works, but so yeah, TV's some stuff. Commute scheme airport village. It's not very well thought out. This is not what I would call the world's greatest selection. There's about 500 episodes of Medical Police. There is one episode of something called Ma, one episode of Young Sheldon. That's really the extent of all of it. I've spent the last 2 hours of this flight listening to the people behind me have a full-on discussion about Christianity, the existence of God, and quite a lot. It's intense. With my IFE not really working, it's been quite a lot to take in. So one really big contrast here is the plane itself, which is really pretty grubby. It's just in need of a good clean. Sort of shows a lack of care by the airline on their fleet. Same with the outside. I mentioned the wing is just filthy and the dirtiest I've ever seen. It just doesn't really show that they care. It doesn't give you a ton of faith. Which is interesting because the crew seem to be really proud of their airline and their jobs, which is a real nice thing to see. But as far as the cleaning goes and the actual customer-facing hard product, it's completely non-existent, which is a real shame because I've actually really enjoyed this flight. As I say, the crew have been wonderful. There's loads of leg room. Yeah, it's not clean, but there's IFE. There's a hot meal. It feels like this is how this route should be. We are at about 2,000 feet on descent. Cabin lights still on. It's completely dark outside. I don't think I've ever had the cabin lights on full for a nighttime landing. But there's also still people walking around the cabin. Strangest thing ever. The person who got up was also right in front of the cabin crew, who were sitting in the jump seats, strapped in. Didn't care. Been an interesting flight. I probably would do it again. Just out of curiosity more than anything. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I forgot my bag. Oh no. I left my carry-on bag on the London flight with EgyptAir. Yeah, on the plane.
Okay, you inform the office, the front office.
Yeah, carry-on. I left on flight 778 from London.
London? Seat number?
47K.
47K?
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Come back in 5? Alright, thanks man. Oh my gosh, what a nightmare that was. Some things you need to know when you come to Cairo. Never leave your bag on the plane. Although they were amazingly quick at finding it. I just had to go through all of the stuff and go to the baggage, lost and found. Turned up in about 5 minutes. Incredible. There's something really charming about EgyptAir, and I would definitely fly with them again. It's kind of like getting into the Cairo mindset and the Egypt mindset before you've even stepped off the plane. So who wins the battle of the flag carrier? Is it BA or is it EgyptAir? I'll put the link to the BA one up next if you haven't seen it already. If you have, then let me know in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And if you already have, thanks very much. It really does mean a lot to me. I've got another flight to catch in the morning. I'll catch you guys on the next one. In the meantime, keep your head in the clouds. Thanks again.